Howdy everyone, Nimby here. This morning we're going to be tying the Carrot Nymph. I'm going to be doing it with a silver bead head. Well, since it is a wet nymph, you can fish these weighted if you want to throw a little lead on there or heavier bead. And this morning, switching back to the 8/0 uni thread in black. Just my standard tying thread. Get that tied in right behind the bead there. Good luck in the tree stand, mate. Yeah, better keep the audio off. It might get pretty rockin' here. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna start or end our tie-off point just a little bit before the barb. In this case, normally I go behind the barb. Just gonna be a couple wraps back because we're gonna be tying in a tippet today. And I'm not sure exactly which one's gonna tie in for a better tippet, so we're gonna try this Mylar tinsel from UTC in a extra small. And I'm gonna try one in a medium too. The medium for this hook size might be slightly too big. We might get some bumps in it, so we're gonna try the extra small first, see how it goes. This is silver gold tinsel, but we just need the gold inside. Try and get a length off there without it going sproing. And you'll want to tie it with the gold side towards the hook and the silver side towards you. Actually, we'll bring our tying thread back up to the bead here. And just tie that in the length of the body. Now this is a rather simple fly. Should get a couple of these done out this morning. It's extremely effective for brook trout, creeks, small lakes. That's a more interior BC version of, say, a partridge in orange. It is fairly traditional. I'm not sure who the original tyer is or the time frame, to be honest with you. I was not able to ever find that information. But it's a fairly simple pattern, so I'm sure quite a few people tied it for a good length of time. Tips on flies, as far as the tip goes, which is going to be the shiny little part that goes back into the bend of the hook. Were very common in the 1910 to 1930s. So my guess is it probably originates from around that time. Although there's nothing stopping someone from adding a tip to any fly at any time. Just didn't really see them a lot before that, and they kind of fell out of favor into the 40s and 50s. Alright, so we got our tippet material tied in. Now we're going to do, actually 1 second here, just to make life a little easier on me. I'm going to half hitch my thread, and we'll just get it up in the bobble cradle just to get it out of my way a little bit here. There we go. And again, as long as you're tying it in with the silver face in the hook, when you turn it around to wrap, the silver will be against the hook. Thanks, Robert. Yes, make the number go up. It makes me happy. Makes my heart sing. And the bigger the channel gets, the more people we get in, and the more people I get to help with fly tying. And that makes me happy as well. But like a good dopamine-fueled human, I like it when the number goes up. Okay, so we wrap the tippet all the way down, wrap the tippet all the way back. There's 2 benefits to using a smaller sized mylar for the tippet here. One is you don't get the kinks. And 2, when you double wrap it one way and back, it's less likely to slide over the end too. That is also another kind of inherent issue with tying in a tippet. And it's just gonna basically, that is the original kind of hot spot on a fly. Just adds a little shine to the butt as an attractor. And we'll bring our thread back up. Oh, actually in this case you can, one option you can do is just leave this tied in, bring it up, retie it back in the other way. You don't want to, because you're going to be chasing the fly with the gold, you don't want to, or if you're going to chase the fly. In this case, I'm not going to. But if you're going to chase the fly with tinsel, which some people do to put some wraps in, you can just leave it tied in after the tip, tie it forward, then tie it back. If you leave it in there and then try and wrap it, you have a much higher chance of changing the tension on your tip. And that'll cause it to unfoil, go backwards, all sorts of things that aren't terribly fun. So we'll leave it the way it is. I have 2 wools I'm going to be using. They're actually a type of poly yarn. 1 second here. The other one. This one's a poly anyway. I think it's a 4-strand. We'll find out when we tear it apart. Nice bright pumpkin orange. And then we got this one, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's actually a original type of Antron wool called Starlight from the 70s. Really hard to find. It's a sparkle yarn. Sparkles aren't really coming out on the camera here, but you can see the little wispy hairs on it. Those are all extremely UV reflective, and it just comes to life in the water. Unfortunately, they haven't made it in like 30 years, so it's really hard to come by. I have a few skeins of it, and not only do I enjoy tying with it, but I will be very sad when I am finally out. I probably will never find more. Okay, so we're gonna cut ourselves off a length of this. I think that's gonna give us 4 strands. Or it should anyway. Maybe 3, we'll find out. Traditionally, you'll generally see these tied without the bead head. I'm just throwing the bead head in there because I have some set up and it adds some weight to it for creek fishing. And a little bit of extra flash on it never really hurts. Okay, what do we got? A 4-strander? Yeah, it looks like 4 strands. So we got 2 here. We're going to split those again. Bloop. And it's okay if it's kinky and wavy like that. It does make a little bit of extra challenge to tie it in, but nothing that you're not going to be able to overcome. There we go. Now, if you're tying with a 2 or a 3-strand yarn, it's going to be a little thicker, but you're also going to have less chance of it pulling apart. If I put a lot of tension on it this way, it might shred. A lot less chance of that happening with a poly type of yarn like this. Just going to catch that in and then walk it back. And I'm going to bring that right up to where our tippet is. And then we're going to get 3 to 4 well-tensioned wraps in, so we got a good pull point. And all the way back. Wow, I just got a whole bunch of birds just hanging in on my stream this morning, eh? Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah, that's a big part of it, eh? Just sitting there waiting. I'm actually gonna half hitch this and we'll use the rotary on this. So traditionally this is gonna be tied with thicker here to thinner. So we're gonna go all the way to the end, back halfway, back again, back a quarter, back again. You can overwrap, that's another style. I prefer to go back and forth, typically it gives me smoother, cleaner wraps, and that seems to hold together better. But either method works perfectly fine. Yeah, well, thanks for dropping in, Mason. Always good to have you in. So, first wrap over, gonna be fairly thin, just covering all the black. Gonna bring it right up to the bead, and then second wrap back. Oh, you always gotta have some expectations. You spooked one after all, they're there. Alright. So now we're gonna go back. And back again halfway. Or we're gonna go to the 3/4 mark. And then back again. Ooh, getting right to the end of my... Hey, Maddie. Good to have you in, mate. Good morning. I guess it's either really early for you or really late. And there's nothing saying you can't dub one of these bodies too. Yeah, that's what I figured. Trying to do the rough math in my head for time zones. I was guessing 3 o'clock, so it was pretty close. But we are on daylight savings, so that stupid thing. Like, of all the things you want to mess up just for the sake of doing it, timekeeping shouldn't be one of them. That's, just do not understand the whole daylight savings thing. It's like, it's the one thing that should actually be accurate. I'm just getting rid of a little bit of the fluff on the top. I don't mind the fluff on the bottom. Just adds a little bugginess to it, but we're just going to clean the top up. Some people like to put a... It is just coming on, yeah, just coming on 6 in the morning here. I was trying to get on a little bit earlier, but I just had to get some material set up for this one. Okay. So some people put a, and I probably will on a few of these, just a small peacock hackle collar here, and that just not only adds a little bit of green to it, makes a nice collar, but depending on how you're tying in your body, it'll also help fill in the point between your bead head and the body, and give your hackle something nice to bite into. But in this case, for this first one, we're just going to skip that part. It's not necessary, just a common addition a lot of people throw in. So we're going to use these really nicely speckled partridge feathers. These are just random, these are probably either breast or body feathers just by the shape of them. This one's slightly curving up, so I'm guessing it came off of the right side of the breast. Could also have been a shoulder feather, but those are typically a little more elongated and oval. If I'm guessing, I'm going to say this is a breast feather. I do not have a partridge skin. They're extremely hard to come by. In Canada here, going rate for them is like over $100, which is ridiculous for a small upland game bird. But I do have lots of loose stuff in bags, so that's what we're using. Does make it a little bit more time consuming for prep, but all good. So I probably have a lifetime supply. So we're just going to take it, grab the tip, pull them back, grab the tip again because I want to get a little more fibers in that. There we go. And you know you have a really nice soft hackle when they stick together like that. It's all nice and webby. It's going to make a beauty soft hackle. And we're just going to tie this tip in. Get about 3 good solid wraps on it. I'm just going to throw 1/2 hitch in just to keep that tension on that feather. There. And then even if I let tension off my bobbin, it's not going to change the tension on the feather. Now we're going to go with a rotating hackle plier today, but for a small wrap like this, it's completely unnecessary if your fingers are grippy enough. Bugger. Alright, let's try that again. I was kind of worried that might happen. Throw a little bit of rosin on there then. Not a big deal, I just don't want to have the collar too thick on these. I like my collars to be fairly thin on these so the orange shows out. You could even tie with like an orange thread or a red thread really if you wanted to. Make a bit of a hot spot color. That would definitely be okay. So I don't see any issue using regular black tying thread as well. As long as you're not tying this hackling 6 times like I might be. Oh, that's too bad, mate. Turkeys are a useful bird, not only for eating, but of course for our hobby of fly tying. There's 1 or 2 fibers there that are on the other side of my thread. Behave yourself. There we go. I keep everything on the far side of my thread, so when I'm tying in, they're not jumping forward. There's always one. It's like most things in life, right? There's always one. Of course, right? It's like right after deer season, they'll walk right out to your truck. There we go. Got a couple of those to play ball finally. There we go. Beauty. Okay. gonna do one more securing wrap on this, just because upland game bird, especially partridge, can be, come on buddy, be pretty brittle. I want to get one more securing wrap on either side of this. There we go. Yeah, really simple and super effective little nymph pattern. Just drives them nuts. Orange, red, those colors drive rookies nuts. I really like the look of that hackle. I'm gonna get 1/2 hitch in here before we do our whip finish. Then we'll brush that out a bit. Add just a whiff of head cement. Tie off point. What's these ones right here? Not sure why you guys are so. I'll hook myself. Eek. That was close as a little prick. Okay. You a little prick? Yeah, I like to finish my tying point off close to the bottom anyway, if I can manage it. This one moved a bit over after I tightened it. That's okay. It's better than on top anyway. We're just gonna make a mental note of where that is, and then we'll add our head cement on there. If you're making a thicker collar, you can head cement all the way around the collar like I do on the Prince Nymph. But yeah, in this case, so we don't interrupt the flow of the soft hackle, I'm only going to glue the bottom. There we go. And leave the top au naturel. There you go. So it's almost like a partridge in orange. It's slightly different in that it has the gold tip on the butt, which the orange wool is kind of covering a little bit, but it doesn't have to be big. So tip starts here, I can feel it with my finger, all the way up to here. There you go. Let's brush her out, and then we'll spin it here for the head cement to dry. And I'm just really, only reason I'm brushing it just to separate these wonderfully spidery legs. There you go. Not sure if that made any difference. Probably wasn't worth the drop rope. Alright, let's just rotate that for a minute. And there you have a Carrot Nymph. It's a really simple and effective little guy. Oh, Jack Pepper, good to have you in, mate. Just drying up the cement on our little carrot nymph here. We'll get another one done up in a sec. I think I might throw some gold metallic thread on this next one here just to give it a little more segmentation. Thank you. Yeah, it's a cute little guy. He's gonna hang out next to our prince nymphs here until all of his brothers and sisters get made up. Come on now. There we go. Hey, I got enough to tie 4 of these with just that one little piece of yarn that we cut, so that's cool. It's a benefit of like a 4-strand yarn. Where'd my bobbin go? Lose my thread? Nope, there it is. Okay, just gonna get this started and tied in. I'm just gonna start a thread right behind the bead, kind of build up a base there. And we'll go right back with the thread base. To just before the barb. So back that off a couple. One more. Yeah, it's a really common pattern for trout, and especially for younger fishermen. It's great because it produces really well. It's simple. Same reason a partridge and orange is really common. It's got the leggy, wonderful pattern of upland game bird. Just overall, just a really cool, great fly. So again, we're going to tie this in with the color we want, which is gold, not silver, facing the hook. So when we turn it around, it'll be the right color. I've definitely never messed that up. Ever. It's never happened. Tied in correctly every single time. Okay, I'll just leave that in my arterial clip. I'm gonna bring our thread back to the front here again. Throw in a quick half hitch just to get the bobbin out of the way. I like to get the bobbin out of the way for this, because Mylar isn't super strong stuff. It's a little stretchy. And you want a nice looking, clean tip on your fly. You don't want the ugly. Yeah, hopefully Maddie's doing okay. So we're gonna go all the way down. If you miss a slight chunk, you're overlapping, but if you miss a chunk, it's not a huge deal because we're gonna cover it all the way back up. Which we're gonna get right now. Don't lose tension like I just did. That would not be a good thing to do. And watch the hook point. It will tear into your Mylar. Yeah, everyone welcome Jack Pepper in. Good to have you. Yeah, Robert's been my regular morning company, and Maddie's been in quite a bit. Super grateful for both you guys. Okay, we're just going to tie that off twice. I like to tie my mylar off twice because it's a slippery material and a stretchy material, so it doesn't really come undone on me all that often. It's just an insurance thing. It's so thin, tying it in twice is really not going to do me any disservice. It's got a nice, I think for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the, I'm going to leave this in. So we're going to tie it forward and back just so we don't put any pressure on the tip. How do you know it was a dream, though? Maybe it actually happened. Maybe that big trout is actually out there. I'm just tying it forward about 5 or 6 wraps and then tying it back on itself. That'll release any pressure when I'm ribbing the fly on the tip and stop it from moving or sliding. Tips, especially after they've been fished a bit, have a tendency to slide down the shaft or come undone there and slide the other way. So you want to try and avoid changes in pressure on them if you can help it, like that. Okay, so we're just going to bring our thread point back up. Oh, come on, Mr. Bead, just behave yourself. And we'll get a, not this, that's dubbing from the last one. We'll get our orange yarn. So for those that missed it, that's just an orange, like pumpkin poly yarn, 4-strand. So we separated it to give one of the 4 strands. I'm just going to cut the end off to give me a nice clean tie-in point. As clean as it'll let me get. Poly tends to be a bit on the fluffy side. It's strandy. But if you get a tie-in point like that, pull it forward a bit. £5. That's nice. Hey, don't tangle. That's bad. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I got it on VHS actually still. And yeah, I have a working VHS player that I use on the regular. And an old color tube TV that I play all my VHSs on. Like old dial style color tube TV. I don't know, I just find that the older movies just look better on an old TV. They just have a completely different character to them. Just gonna start those first couple wraps by hand there. I'll do the rest with the rotary. It just has its own, not just character, but it gives it a warmth and you get all the static and all that you wouldn't get in on a DVD. And obviously nostalgic for me. I like in my older movies. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember he's an actor, not necessarily a fly fisherman. Yeah, everyone must follow Streambot's advice and subscribe up top. Appease the YouTube gods. Alright, so we're gonna wrap the black. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna rotary this. Should have just kept the thread going. We'll throw in a half hitch here. I'll rotary that as well. A lot of times when I'm just tying in a body rib like this, I won't bother with the half hitches and putting it up in the bobbin holder. I'll just wrap the amount of wraps I'm going to be doing with my mylar or wire. Okay, later, Robert. Thanks for stopping in, mate. Always a pleasure. Hope to see you tomorrow. And good luck in the tree stand. Hopefully that's why you're going. Of course I say that, and then I'm not even using the rotary. Oh well, this wrap's going nice. At least it looks like it is from my side, so I'll just keep it going. The best laid plans of mice and men. Thanks for reminding me about that. I should really dedicate some time to watching that movie again. It's been sitting on my shelf there. Yeah, I hope he gets lucky. He's been putting the effort in for it. It's really in his heart, so hopefully it hits off for him. Okay, let's see if we can find a suitable feather. It's a little small. This one will probably do. So if you're not aware, most upland game birds have a second feather. A little under feather. It has some uses. It's basically like a mini marabou, so you can use it for different things. Like breathers and whatever. Most of the time people just toss them though. There's not a whole lot of point in saving them. You're welcome to, because there are some uses for them, but there's just so many, and the uses are few. So a lot of people will just toss them and grab one or two when they need it. Okay, so this one is going to be on the opposite side of the breast feather. So I'll actually have a little bit better chance wrapping this one, although it's got a bit of an extreme. As I drop it into my waste basket. Come on, buddy. Sorry about that. Let's do that again. It was my fault. I breathed hard on it and went poof. Yeah. Hold your breath while you're fly tying. Pro tip. And for this one, I'm going to pre-cut the tie-in point, little wedge there. Trying to get that out of the way, at least for 2 wraps. Okay, I got 2 wraps in there. Remembered how slippy the last feather was, which I don't normally have a problem with the upland game birds being slippy, but maybe this batch of uni threads wax wasn't as waxy as the last. So I'm gonna add a little whiff of rosin just to catch that. It's definitely not gonna hurt nothing. Tie down a few of those fibers with it. Oh, that one fiber there is going to be annoying, but I'm going to leave it in. I'm going to suck it up. Try to leave them in until they decide that they're not going to behave in the process. Because I've had quite a few of them over the years end up laying just perfectly once I start wrapping, so all depends on your frustration level and what you want to handle. And just walking these back. Again, there's always one. You can pin these forwards after, it just makes the wrapping process. And I am going to do the rotating hackle pliers for this one, just so my fingers are free to brush it around a little easier. Beauty. Okay. Yeah, that worked out pretty well, actually. You don't need a lot. 1 to 2 wraps is perfectly fine for this kind of pattern. And that's what we got. This is just representing some legs and some life and some movement. It'll pulsate wonderfully pretty in the water. In hindsight, after tying those prince nymphs yesterday, or the, yeah, prince nymphs. But in hindsight, this might look really nice with like a poppin' red collar or like a oh, did I catch you? Oh, okay, good. Thought I caught a fiber in there. Like a poppin' red collar or maybe a burnt orange. Might try that actually. For consistency though, I think this time I'll stick with the black. Just so it's the same as all of its brothers and sisters. Yeah, I could see a nice, or even a green, like an emerald. Oop, lost one fiber. Even like an emerald green collar would look pretty good on that, I think. Let's brush that out, separate some of those fibers a bit. I'm not sure if a comb would work for this or not, so let's try. Oops. Yeah, I don't know. Brushing it out doesn't seem to really do touch anything. That's okay. Let's get our whip finish in there. We got our half hitch in. Make sure that's good. Okay. And if you did want to hide that thread color, there's nothing stopping you from throwing a little whiff of some dubbing on there too, and that would hide it in there real nice. Just a couple fibers that are just, you know, a little weird back here, so let me fix those. Yeah, that's nice. Like that one. What do you guys think? You like the you like the plain orange body or the one with the gold rib? Kind of liking how the gold rib pops a lot of light, to be honest. Just gonna run a very light bead of head cement up there. And we're just gonna rotate that for a minute. And that's a carrot nymph. This one has a gold tip and a gold rib. Quite like the gold rib on that one. Might keep up with that actually. actually just going to move that tie and point back. Yeah, there we go. Was up ahead just a little too far on the hook there. So normally I'd tie it back there, but in this case, because we're putting tip on, I want it to be ahead just a whiff. So we've got a little more of the flat shank there. Biggest problem with tying tips in is that they tend to shed and get all wrapped up around the hook bend. So you want to definitely start them on the flat and then work your way over the bend of the hook. Now this isn't going to be enough for, definitely not going to be enough for the body, but it should be enough for the tip. So back up to the start, tie the tip in. Again, we're tying that in. Oop. Come on, buddy. Yeah, got it tied in there, but I'm feeling my thread's getting a little twisted, so I'm gonna counterspin. That's more than enough. Get this tied in back. Back up front. Get 2 1/2 inches in so it can sit in the cradle. And I'm going to go with my small little hackle pliers. I'll go with the beefier hackle pliers to grab a little better. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure I got gold. Got silver there. Okay. Around that hook point without damaging the mylar can be a bit of a trouble. I find it better if you kind of slide down it and then remove the tension right before you get to the hook. Because if I try to miss the hook, I normally short it and just catch the tip. Okay, now we're back wrapping. Oh, just like that. Just like that. Oh, that was close. Yeah, nasty little thing. I'm gonna get one more tip out of that one. Got a burr in my thread there. I'm just gonna bury that in to the body so we don't have any problems. Oh, that could have been bad. Not sure where that came from. I don't think I caught tip there, but obviously caught it on something. Not necessary, but I'm just grabbing all the bird thread there. Okay, bring it all the way back. And grab another piece of that mylar for the ribbing. It's always a bit of a challenge getting these off without the whole. Oop. I always keep my finger on it. Tends to just go swing if you don't. Okay, so same thing, we're going to tie in the silver side facing us. We're tying a new piece because that what was left of that one wasn't long enough. Dude, is there there must be some kind of burr on this. Yeah, I'm just gonna take off a length of cord here and just get rid of it. You do get faults and threads every once in a while. And ADOT's really thin, so. Okay, reset and starting over. Sorry guys. That's part of doing this kind of thing live, right? You get the mistakes, you get the good stuff, you get the boring stuff, you get the moderate stuff. Come on now. Grab onto my thread. Get into my belly. There, okay. This part of the thread. It must have just been a little defect back there. I caught the first one before it snapped, not the second one. Alright, we'll see. If I keep snapping here, I'll switch that spool out for now. I'll deal with that another time. Alright, so let's try and tie. It's a problem with mylar like this. You set her down and it's like disappears into the ether. Especially silver. I always have trouble seeing the silver because it reflects all the light around it. I do have the silver side, right? Nope. Weird. Okay, that's gold. Okay, that goes in our material clip, and we'll get to our fourth one. Spring. Tie that in here. I'm gonna do a wrap forward like this, and then just pull it back gently. Seems to be catching on me. I'll just bury that in. I get all wrapped in anyway. Bury that back. We want to stop right at the tie-in point. Get 3 or 4 good wraps on it, stop it from moving. Back up to the front. Tie off with 2 half hitches, and we'll get both of these spun and tied in. Up in the bobbin cradle. Gonna hand wrap these first 2 wraps to make sure they're just in place. Looks good. And again, you're going to go to the halfway mark, thereabouts. Back. And then back. About a third. And back again. And enough yarn? Yep, okay. That'll make a nice, fat, tapered nymph body. It should be consistent and not give you any trouble that way. I'm just going to grab this with the hackle plier in case I drop it. There we go. Woohoo! Come on, buddy, stay in the vise. It's like, no, I want to be a fish. There we go. Okay, 2 half hitches, and then we'll wind that rib in. Yeah, which side's my goal? Sorry guys, 1 second. This must have got twisted. Yeah, that's really weird. Every time I wrap it, it seems to flip. It's tied in, right? And are my eyes like playing tricks on me here? Okay, got it. That was really weird. Never had that happen. Not sure what was going on there. Either way, gotta remove him. Okay. There we go. Nice little orange nymph body. Happy with that. Okay, let's see if we can find one. That's a decent size here. That one's okay. Bigger. No, I stripped that one a little too hard. I'll save you for later. I'll make you into some legs. Here's another good sized one. Let's see. that might be, yeah, that's a hair too long. Alright, let's try another one. Sorry guys, I'll get one here. What about you? You look like about the right size. Yeah, you look pretty good. I like that. That'll work. There we go. I'm just going to cut that tip off. Hey, good. Good morning. Good to have you. I'm gonna use the rotating hackle plier on this one to free my fingers up. It's good to have you. Just like that. Let's get you guys to all lay proper. Like a good little hackle. I think this will wrap just right. Move you down just a bit. Now the wrap really nice. It's got a couple fronds in the front here that are misbehaving. Let's try and coach those backwards. Come on. There's always one. Sometimes he has friends. There we go. So, just gonna bring this up. Pin that in place. Got her. 3 locking wraps. I'll do that one more time. Beauty, got her in there. Okay, do two. We'll do 2 half hitches, and then we'll get a whip finish in on it. Yeah, so it's called a orange carrot nymph, or just carrot nymph. If you can't guess why, it's because of the color. On cat hair booger. There we are, cute little thing. There we are, cute little guy. So there we have a cute little carrot nymph with a lovely up game bird hackle, a little weighted head, and some gold rib. A little gold tip on the end. There we go. And I'm gonna be back. I'm just gonna use the bathroom.